All right. So we're just going to go ahead and ask Kari to share a little bit just about your experience and your journey and whatever you want to share first of all.
Perfect. So I'm happy to be back. I can talk loud. I'm happy to be back again this year. So if anybody was here last year, I talked last year with another amazing woman. And last year was an interesting year for me. So I do this a lot and talk in a lot of different venues, but I'm excited to be here because it's about prevention. I can't move it. It doesn't move. Is that better? Yeah. I know I'm loud. I could probably just scream. So last year was great for me, and talking to everybody who was here last year was amazing, but it was a special year for me because it was a year that I brought my beautiful daughter, and actually was the year that I disclosed to her that I'm living with HIV. So I've been positive for 12 years. I work at the Children's Hospital Immunodeficiency program, so I have the pleasure of working with amazing young people who are very inspiring, and are already living with and thriving with HIV, and pregnant women and their babies as we work to make sure that their babies are born negative, and young people who were perinatally infected. So I have an amazing job, and HIV has brought lots of fabulous things into my life, and I'm very open about my status, and so I am hoping that Mimi can maybe ask some questions, and if anybody in the audience has questions or things they want to know, there's not a whole lot that's off the table. Or if you would like to ask Liana, because she would love to use the microphone.
Yeah. Does the audience have any questions at all? Well, we'll ask you one. What is the message you have for folks who are afraid to get tested?
Yeah, so I think that that's common for people to... Okay. Liana says, don't be afraid. That's what you all should know. That's her message. So I think that it's scary. I think that most people don't have a lot of education about what HIV is anymore, and I think that the pictures that we have are things that were from 20 years ago when it was really scary, and we didn't have treatment, and people weren't living long time with the virus, and that's not the case. So I think getting educated about HIV and other STIs in general, how to keep yourself safe, but also knowledge is power. And I know that something like HIV is intimidating to people, but I know some of the most amazing people that I would never have met who are all thriving with HIV and doing amazing work in the community and amazing work for lots of other communities. So getting tested, I think, is really important, and knowing your status, because if you know your status, you can take care of yourself and live a long time. And if you don't, that might not be the outcome. I'm faster than you.
Sorry.
Do you want to go?
Oh, you're dying. She's dying to go. What? Okay. As a mother, what is it that you want your children to know about HIV?
That's me. That is you. So I hope that all of us as parents want to educate our kids. We all want to keep them safe, but if you keep them too safe, then they're not very educated about what is happening in the communities around them. So it's a fine line. So Liana and I certainly have lots of conversations, like what it's like to live with HIV, or the other day she Googled women giving birth. That was fantastic. Lovely conversation at breakfast. I already told them, sorry. And so I think that it's really important to be open. And I think until we break down the barriers that make people afraid, because we're the ones that allow fear to stop us from moving forward and crushing kind of the barriers that we've put up in front of ourselves as a community, and we allow to be there. So I think as a mother, that's my thing that I strive for, is making sure that my daughter and other young people are educated and have the power to make their own decisions based off of the opinions that they've created. It's you.
All right. Is there anything that Liana wants to share with us?
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Can
you reach that? Okay, talk. What do you want to say?
Hold you.
Let's hear the snaps. Let's hear some snaps.
What do you think about HIV?
Mommy's special to me.
Aww. What do you think about people living with HIV and when people maybe don't treat them nicely?
I think it's not very nice.
Yeah, how should they treat them?
They should treat them just like other people, just like you should treat other kids like nicely and respectful.
I agree. That is a fabulous message. Do you have anything else to say? Do you want to tell them that you're very excited that you have kept a secret for a whole year?
I'm excited that I kept it for HIV, but my mommy's living with HIV for a whole entire year.
So part of our conversation after last year's event was that she couldn't just go to school and talk about that with everybody. And so when I said, hey, it's been a year since we were there, she was like, oh my gosh, I kept a secret for a whole year. Do I get a prize? Huh. So you're very excited. Do you want to share anything else? Are you giving me deuces? Okay. Do you want to share anything else? Do you want to say thank you?
Thank you.
We have a question in the front row if you're willing to answer it.
Absolutely.
I want to.
Okay, well, just wait.
Wait.
Wait for the question.
All right.
Yes.
The
Do you want me to repeat it?
Yeah.
So she asked what it was like to deal with stigma and discrimination when you're living with HIV. So I think the common misconception is that HIV is exceptionally difficult to live with. And I've found that HIV is actually not very hard to live with. What's hard to live with is stigma and discrimination. So I'm part of an organization called Positive Women's Network. And for the last 3 years, we've done a stigma survey. And so we send the survey out, and people fill it out and send it back to us, and it's all private. And the thing that we've learned is that in our own community, people living with HIV have experienced intimate partner violence, they've lost their housing, they've lost their children, they've been shunned by their religious communities, they've been shunned by their families, they've lost jobs. And those are all things that seem like shouldn't be happening. There's no reason for that. I have no tolerance for that. So to me, the key to fixing that is education, but stigma is the hard part of HIV. It's not actually living with the virus. I might go to the doctor a few more times a year just to make sure I'm healthy, but I'm probably more healthy and on top of my health care than most people.
Wonderful. Any other questions at all? All right, y'all. So let's give Liana and Kari a big round of applause.
Thank you. Do you want to say thank you?
Thank you.
Say get tested.
Get tested.